Hi, Sagittarius. This is your month of March 2023. We're going to talk about how the big changes of Saturn moving into Pisces, Pluto into Aquarius, plus the movement of both Mercury, Venus, and of all things Mars into new signs is going to be making March basically a pivotal month of change for you. And there's almost like coming into a whole nother country, right? Like, oh my God, where am I now? Things are going to feel very, very different, but in very fundamental ways. And some of the pivots that you're going to start to feel in the month of March will be playing out over the next 3 and 20 years. So this is a very big time for you. Let's get into that. If you're new to my channel, my name is Lori Lothian. I'm a Hellenistic whole sign astrologer. I'm using the Western tropical zodiac, and I am using whole sign houses. Did I say that? Check out my description box below for everything I'm doing. Come learn astrology with me. Sky Reader, Time Your Best Life, Be Your Own Astrologer. It comes up this March, middle of March, for 8 weeks. Come learn astrology live with me. This is a beginner's class. How to be your own astrologer, not to become a professional, how to do your own chart. Second of all, we're also going to talk a lot about oh yeah, and just check out my, Patreon community. Gets all my videos ad-free ahead of you, all the ads, all ad-free content that they can digest before it ever gets to YouTube. And they get to see me twice a month for meetings, as well as my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter. All the things I'm up to is in the description box below. Of course, I do readings, but I'm pretty full now. In fact, I think I'm full until June, and I've blocked my calendar off until August because I'll need to take a vacation this summer. So let's get talking about what it is to be a Sagittarius right now. I'm going to mention something out of order from other signs. Okay. So normally I'm starting with Saturn, and for you, I'm going to go different if you don't mind. I just want to talk about Jupiter. This is when your happiest, luckiest transits. Every 12 years, Jupiter is in your 5th house, and he's going to be here until the middle of May after arriving there in December. So that overlords a lot of the harder stuff I'm about to tell you about. As Jupiter is moving through Aries, your 5th house of joy, inspiration, children, romance, independent business enterprise, that feeling on top of your happiness factor. You are expanding in that part of your sky, and it brings a lot of manifestation goodness to you. There's a principle in India, and part of Indian astrology, of course, there's different branches of it, where if you're born with the Lord of the 1st house, Jupiter is the Lord of the Sagittarian people, in the 5th house, you have a great deal of power to manifest your wishes, basically. You have a temporary time frame from basically December 20th behind you through to middle of May to get your wishes off the ground with a superpower of manifestation or wish fulfillment, or call it what you will, just darn luck. The house of good fortune is a luck house. Jupiter is a luck god. And it's great for fertility, pregnancy, creativity, art, starting your own business, succeeding in your own business, having more fun, and it's good for your children as well. So that's to say that, because I'm going to talk about some of the harder stuff now. And that is that Saturn, who has been going through your house of siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, skills-based learning, trips and travel, 3rd house matters, online website stuff, sometimes writing. Saturn has been going through that 3rd house of yours now for quite a long time. A lot of, I know one Sag woman who's written a book. It took her 7 years. That was half of that was Saturn's transit starting in March of 2020 through the writing house for that Sagittarius female I know. So having Saturn in your 3rd house for writing, for example, since March of 2020, ending March 7th of 2023, meant that you ground in, you dove in, you worked hard, you did the hard work. Same with sibling relationships were hard. Aunts, uncles, and cousins were hard. You had hard relationships with extended family. So did this woman I'm talking about. You may have found things that were really hard too with your local neighborhood. You weren't enjoying your local neighborhood, or you felt isolated in your local neighborhood, or you had constrictions and constraints around your local neighborhood for some reason. I mean, we're in a pandemic, right? That was March of 2020. So you might just have felt that the lockdowns were severe, maybe in the neighborhood in which you resided, or you felt isolated within your neighborhood, something like that. So that's been a story that you've been dealing with now ever since that 2020 ingress of Saturn into Aries, and now he's going away. Goodbye, 3rd house, and moving into your 4th house, which brings its own new set of challenges and also successes. Not all bad, When Saturn's here, he's going to help you. First of all, an elder relative, like an elderly aging family member or person, could come to live with you. When Saturn is here from March 7th of this year to February 26th, that can turn out to be true. Saturn can also help you construct or build a new home. get an architect, lay a foundation for a new home over the next 3 years. Saturn can also make being at home feel lonely, isolating, or anxious. Saturn can also mean that you'll feel isolated in your home. Saturn can also mean that you feel even cold and distant from the people that live in your home with you. And Saturn can make your home life feel constricted and restraining. Sometimes when I see clients with Saturn moving through their fourth house, they just don't want to be home at all. They actually want to be out at work or out with their friends, but they don't want to go back home. So something about coming to terms with the hermit in the cave, right? Or the isolated witch in the woods or something. There's something about being, separate and isolated that can really hit you hard, because it's a midnight house. It's where you're down in the dark. It's when it's the darkest part of the night, and it's alone time, private time, solitude time in some ways, just like the 12th could be a solitude house. So yeah, there's that. And family of origin, mom and dad, childhood stories, ancestral line stories and themes can be a part of what is coming up to your attention during this transit. And you may want to sort of pay attention to it. You may start to look at some of the hardship stories, that you may have inherited and you may not want to keep anymore. Some could say curses as well. If you believe in family curses or ancestral curses or things like that, then this is Saturn's job to make you aware of those things when it comes to your family line and your ancestral line, and dispense with them, get rid of them. It's almost like vows of chastity, vows of poverty too, that kind of thing, cliche in the New Age world. Like, did you take vows of chastity or poverty? And that's what's giving you a crappy time in this life. Well, I don't know. Saturn is the Lord of karma. And so this could be a time to investigate subconscious or deeply hidden from your own thought process, stuff like that. All right, so that's a transit that's happening. Will you be able to buy and sell real estate during this transit? I know the question will be in the comments. Yes, of course, it will be harder than usual. You may have to compromise on the price, and the place may be on the market for a longer time. The best you can hope for is that you find an elderly buyer, that kind of thing. With Saturn moving through here, though, he's meeting with Neptune, and Neptune's make you very Sagittarius, is confused, deluded, and fogged out about where you want to live. Like, where's my home? Where should I be? And you're like, well, I'm not too sure. And like, is this my dream home? Are you my dream home? You want to be near water, most likely, because Neptune is moving through a water sign in your water house. And so some of you are like, well, I thought I wanted to be near water, but the swimming pool isn't what I meant. So you've been struggling to find this kind of water home, I guess, a flow home, a temple home. Saturn can make that real. He can take some of these foggy dreams that you've had since 2011 with Neptune and help you make them real. So that's the next 3 years. There's an upside to that, right? Where do you really want to live? And Saturn can help stick the landing on a real solid landing, so that wherever you choose to live by the end of these 3 years, you're probably going to stay. Now, if you want to know a lot more about this transit, I got 2 separate videos out. They'll be in my big 2023 playlist, and I think one of them will be out already. I'm recording for my Patreon community earlier in February, but the other, in other words, I don't know if you're going to get the second Saturn video after this set goes live, but I think it's the day before. So check those playlists out to get more about Saturn transiting through your fourth house. It's a big deal because Saturn's also squaring your house of marriage from here and can make also trouble in existing relationships deepen. It wouldn't cause trouble to happen. It would pressure existing fault lines or cracks in love, like marriages or long-term love relationships, to be evident to you. It could stress out the relationship, basically. If it's strong, if your marriage house is strong and things are going swell there already, I wouldn't worry. But you've had Mars there since last August, and your partner's maybe been aggressive, gnarly, combative, and confrontational, or there's been some emotional turbulence in your marriage. Most of you who are with people as a Sagittarius rising, most accurately Sun and Moon secondarily, can relate to what I just said. When Saturn goes into the fourth house, he's basically like kicking the tires on a lot of stuff, including that marriage or long-term love story that you think is for you. And if it doesn't make Saturn's quality control, which will be taking place through the next 3 years, then it won't make it at all. Okay, so sometimes Saturn in the fourth house and Saturn in the seventh house has the same impact on a marriage. It kicks the tires and goes, is it something to keep or buy or sell or whatever? Okay, and Saturn is looking across at your 10th house too. So there's potentially career activations as well from this transit. Okay, so next, Pluto, god of power, transformation. transmorphation, metamorphosis, big change energies, intensity, is leaving the sign of Capricorn. I know Pluto's been in Capricorn in your earnings house now. And it could have made some of you Sagittarius is pretty wealthy, but it also could have put you into obsession and too much intensity about your money, losing sleep over money, tossing and turning over money, stressed out about money, even irrationally stressed out about money, like almost fatally attracted to your money story. So this is coming to a close as Pluto transit through your second house of earnings and, resources. And as he leaves here, and he won't be back in your lifetime, he's going to into your third house on the 24th of March, and will be there till June 11th. Now, that's just the first foray into there. In 2024, he'll come back and he'll be there for the next 20 years after, to 2044. But you're getting a foretaste, a foreshadow, an early teaser appetizer. Let me have an appetizer of Pluto in my third house, please. And what it tastes like? Powerful power struggles and intense power struggles and issues with siblings, especially youngest, or aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews, and or potentially a challenge to the health or life of a sibling, aunt, uncle, niece, or nephew. Now, I don't want to stress you out. That's ridiculous. This is a 20-year transit. But let's be realistic. This is one of the ways it can play out over the next 20 years. I mean, life happens, right? That's sort of the story. Now, Pluto here can also give you power to do with things you're up to in your local neighborhood, in your online world, power when it comes to writing, especially writing. Oh my God. I mean, especially with an air Aquarius energy in your third house and Pluto going into that part of your sky, you guys could do some really powerful transformational writing that could be very impactful and wealth building for you. Also, Sagittarius, Pluto going through this part of your sky makes travel powerful, especially domestic or shorter distance travel can create wealth, power, and good intensity in your life. Your third house is a Saturn rules house, and Saturn's going into your fourth, so he will have nothing to do with Pluto for a while. But I want to give you a little tip. A little tip is way down the line when Pluto enters your fifth house and looks back. Saturn enters your fifth house in 2020. 6, 7, 8, and looks back at Pluto in your third, you could be generating significant wealth through writing. Okay. If you're one of those Sagittarius who's a writer, get ready, get set, go. Writing or creativity or creative projects or things you're doing online. Excuse me. Hope I'm not coming down with COVID. I'm not in the mood, but I'm snotty. Oh, excuse me, guys. I think I should take some vitamin C. All right. I'm going to get you down and then I'm going to take vitamin C. So the next thing I would like to point out to you, I'm not going to belabor Pluto. For Pluto, you need to go get the Pluto 23 transit video and listen to that on my All Signs 2023 playlist. Well, I'll spend at least 15 minutes talking about how that impacts you over the years. The next thing I want to talk about is Mars leaving Gemini. Mars moved into Gemini way back in August of last year. There's some light. And, my laptop powers down the light. And I know someone told me to fix it, but it's so annoying. And Mars in Gemini is combative verbally, right? And this energy of verbal combat, mortal verbal combat, was in your house of marriage. So let me know how that was. Did you argue a lot, or was your partner grumpy, irritable, naggy, aggressive verbally with you ever since last August? And by the way, that's ending. But I just wanted to point out it's a very rare 7-month transit of Mars, the combat god, and the separation and endings god, and cutting and severing in your house of others, cutting away, ending business partnerships, friendships, even, and longer term love relationships for some of you, or just having gnarly combative conflicts. If you're like me on social media, if I was a Sag rising and Mars was going through my 7th house of audience and marketplace, I would have probably been fighting with trolls all this time. I just try now to highlight or pin their comment. And sometimes I want to troll the trolls. Yeah, that's what I like to do. I'm a 4 planets in Aries, troll the trolls. But, you guys would be really having a hard time if that's a part of your life, because you got like aggressive others in your face. But Mars is leaving this part of the story. And he will not come back again to do a 7-month stint in your lifetime, which is good. He'll come back every 2 years, but nothing like this transit. So as Mars is exiting the 7th house, finally, at last, goodbye, ciao, see you later. He moves into your March the 26th, into your 8th house of chunky money. Well, here he can bring you money, like from investments and stock markets, usually for elimination. So selling a stock, selling a home, selling a property. He's going to be here from the month of March 26, add 6 weeks. So into April, May, early May, good time to sell a home, sell a stock, sell a property, sell an asset of some kind. He can bring fights over shared resources with your spouse, or disagreements or arguments over inheritances, but he's trying to win the day for you. The only problem is he's in detriment here, and he's not very strong, so that could cause him to not do his best job because he's fallen. So he may try but fail to, win the day in contests over money, basically. So get ready for that. I hope it's not too gnarly for you, but that's one way it could play out. It can also help you eliminate things in your money story that you don't need, like stocks that are already weak, and just cull the investment portfolio in a very, hopefully, non-fallen way. Not like, oh yeah, I'm going to get rid of the stock that plunged to zero. No, get rid of the stock before it plunges to zero. That's for sure. You may find you're having to go to battle, though, over money. That's basically one way that can look. Very emotional battle, because it's in the sign of Cancer. Then when we go on and talk about Venus, and then Mars, or Mercury and Venus. I did my videos for this month out of order, and you're the last one, so I'm losing my voice. So let's talk about Mercury and then about Venus. Mercury is moving through 2 signs in this month of March, and he normally doesn't do that because this is a fast-moving Mercury. He's got 2 different areas to cover. He's going to go through Pisces from March the 3rd to 18th, and then Aries from March 19th to the 4th of April. Well, first of all, March 3rd to the 18th, he's in a sign that he doesn't like to be in, and he doesn't prefer floating around in the waters that belong to Jupiter. This is your 4th house. It's going to make things like buying and selling real estate, making negotiations around property, or even communicating with people in your home more difficult and prone to misunderstanding, disagreement, confusion, or even falsehoods. So be careful around what things go on there in that environment from March the 3rd to the 18th. You could still sell a house, but boy, do you need a double check on the fine details, the legal matters. Make sure everyone's telling the truth, because this is a problem when Mercury's out of dignity in a sign that he doesn't like to be in, which is in this case Pisces. And then he clears out of there. So again, if you want to buy, sell, or negotiate property deals, or communicate better with people in the home, then you're going to wait till he gets out of there, and that's going to happen, thank goodness, right? March the 19th to April 4th. Then you're good to go. He's in your money luck house. He's helping you communicate with your children. He's giving you messages from your children, messages and love letters to and from your partner, maybe a leisure travel trip romantically. He's a patron of travelers, March 19th to April 4th. He can also give you a news, basically, news to do with your children, news to do with fertility, news to do with romantic love, texts, emails, and phone calls, romantic ones, messages there. If you are an independent business entrepreneur, then your marketing, messaging, selling, communicating energies are highly active in the house of entrepreneurship during March 19th to April the 4th, all right? You've got Jupiter in the house with him. It's going to be a lovely meeting of the 2 at the end of March. We'll get to that in the chronology portion of the reading. All right. Venus is a luck goddess, a love goddess, a beauty goddess, a romance goddess, a pleasure goddess. And she starts off the month moving through the sign of Aries, and she's been there since February 20th to about the 16th, 17th of March. She's in her detriment in Aries, which means she's not comfortable there. It belongs to the beer hall Valhalla warriors, and she's a fair maiden, but she's doing her best, and she'll be moving through your romance house. Well, it could cause you to have a conflictual, passionate romance, a romance that starts off fine but turns sour. You could cause some conflict with your children, but also an attempt to find peace and harmony with your children. Or it could even bring you some exciting money luck. She's in her house of her joy, in a house of money luck through winning, gaming, lotteries, but also maybe with a weird edge, aggressive energy, because of feminine aggressive energies of Venus here. A romance that starts with Venus and Aries in your 5th house could be quite lovely. If you don't mind sort of the assertive energy of Venus here, she's very assertive. It's not demure. It's very you know, I came, I say, Veni Vidi Vici. She comes into the house of sexuality and romance and goes, I came, I say, I came, I saw, I conquered. If you're looking for someone to come into your life who says, I conquered you, okay, I saw you, I came, I saw you, I conquered you, then Venus here could definitely pull that off for you. She could be like a dungeon dominatrix when she's in this house for you. So if you're looking for a dungeon dom, man or woman, it doesn't matter. This kind of energy could happen with Venus coming through your fifth house. Now, money, luck aside and all of that, there could be fertility. It's a fertility transit. She's sperm and ovum going through a fertility house. If you don't want to get pregnant or your partner pregnant or anything like that, and you're Sag rising especially, and sun and moon secondarily, then this is to be cautious around that transit. It does end April the 11th. It does start on the 16th of March. So that's a fertility caution window for you. Alrighty, then let's get going and talk about the minutia details of the transits in the month ahead. My cheat sheet's here. I'm going to prop it up so I'm not staring constantly at the table I'm on, my dining room table, which is my de facto office. Okay, I think I can see the cheat sheet here, so let's move it out of your sight. Okay, best thing of the month is it starts strong with Jupiter conjunct Venus, which is a luck transit. We all want that. A bit of double your money, double your luck, okay? Now, let's be really clear about one thing. This is Jupiter in Aries, very bold, very commanding, very fiery, and Venus meeting him there in her detriment, but Jupiter is benefic, and they're also colliding with Chiron. This is going to start February 27th. You're kind of wane out on the 3rd of March, peaking around March 1st. Happening around 12 degrees of Aries. If your Gemini rising is 3 degrees or 4 degrees to either side of 12, or sun and moon, you might get a lot of intensity around this lucky break. It's just a lucky break around March 1st and 2nd, especially. It could be a financial win. It could be a romantic breakthrough. It could be a new romance. It could be luck for your children. It could be a breakthrough in your business, independent business. All effing good. Excuse my language. A wonderful transit for a luck in that part of your sky with an edge for healing. Then around March the 6th, 7th, and 10th and 11th, both are connected. First the sun, and then Mercury will sextile Uranus. Sun and Mercury are in Pisces, your 4th house of homeland, property, and real estate, and they're in a flow relationship to Uranus, giving you a sudden jolt or an exciting energy, okay? Excitement, jolt of exciting, unexpected something or other going on. Don't forget, at this time, we're having Mercury in Pisces. So again, still cautionary note about checking out the details and making sure they're true. But nonetheless, it's exciting, unexpected, maybe positive and exhilarating developments around property and real estate, connecting to your 6th house of debts, debt removals, tenancies, and pets, okay? So you may find the perfect rental, rent your place out, get a perfect pet, then you can move into your home, check the fine print. Mercury's bringing you good excitement with the sun, but Mercury tends not to be able to see the details when he's in Pisces. You need to have someone really inspect contracts, especially. Then there also could be good news about work and home, like you can work from home. Things like that can be coming up for this transit as well. Then as we go forward in time, we can talk about Mars squaring Neptune for the 3rd time in 7 months. Mars moving through, yes, your marriage house, squaring Neptune of delusion in your 4th house of home. Where have you been deluded and eluded about contracts and agreements around home, about your partner and their relationship to your life at home or the nest? This is the last chance for Mars to clear up that fog of illusion and clear your rose-colored glasses off so you can see squarely what's real and true. Now, also, you may have a major fight because of some lie or deception or something like that, or some misunderstanding with the one you're with when the square happens, but hopefully it clears the air. By the way, that's around the 13th and 14th of March. Then finally, moving into the future, we can see that we're coming into a very busy sky with Sun, Mercury, and Neptune, all 3 of them combining in 25 degrees of Pisces triple conjunction. This is a Mercury Cazimi getting divine downloads and instructions from God with attending the whole ordeal or the whole goodness of it. Mystical, magical, transdimensional, portal opening through the veils, other dimensional Neptune. Certainly you want to take my webinar that I'm going to be teaching, please sign up for my newsletter or get on my notifications bell, etc. So you'll know when that webinar is happening. It's going to be a powerful time to harness a very rare combination of planets in a very powerful place in the sky, Pisces, for downloads, insights, and magic making. And we have to do that on the day of the cazimi, right, which I believe is the 16th. So this triple conjunction, though, is kind of active from the 15th to the 17th. It's still in a broad square to Mars, so we're cutting the fog of illusion while we download deep insights from the divine. In your case, ancestral line insights, family of origin insights, deep insights that can help you spiritually liberate by moving and busting the shackles of your family of origin, ancestral line garbage, and your childhood wounds as well. Yeah, I'm trying to find a comfortable position for the mic. And just after that, around the 19th to the 21st, Mercury and Sun start to move into a cazimi, all right? I mean, a cazimi into a sextile with Pluto. And Pluto's power and wealth in your money house. Sextiles are positive and opportunistic and lucky, but easy flow. You know, it doesn't just throw itself at you. You may have to like pay attention to what's happening, but you could have some financial goodness and good news happening around the 19th to the 21st of the month regarding home, property, real estate, rentals, tenants, leasing, pets, etc. Venus likes to have enduring love when she talks to Saturn, or lasting love, or sober love, or realistic love, or all those same words with money opportunities. And this is important because she sextiles Saturn on March the 18th. Now you want to give it a couple of days on either side, right? Saturn is, of course, as you know, in your fourth house of property and real estate, land and private life. And she's going to form a flowing angle from leases and tenancies, debt relief, mortgages and credit card debts, indebtedness relief, and also possibly a connection to jobs and work offers and opportunities. But all tying in with lasting resourcefulness, lasting powerful money changes. Did I say, am I on the cazimi? I just blanked out. No, I blanked out. I apologize. It's been like the last of 12 recordings. I'm losing my mind. Venus sextiling Saturn, she's doing it from your sixth house. Yes, I already said that. Leases, tenants, and pets. Yes, and Saturn in the homeland and real estate. But I'm also drawn to that Pluto in the house of financial resources that was activated by Mercury and the Sun on the 19th and 21st. So you combine all of that. Financial opportunity regarding things doing from home, at home, with work or leases or pets or tenancies. It looks like a financial good time for you, let's say between March the 16th and the 21st. All right, moving into more stories. Now, just to be really clear, I almost missed something. Saturn and Juno are going to do a long dance until May, but there's precision in their dance around the 10th and 11th. We're going to go back again, okay? Saturn will be in Pisces, and Juno, the goddess of commitment, will be in Taurus. This can look like around March 10th and 11th, signing a contract or a lease for a rental or renting a property out. This can look around the same time about finding that property and not necessarily signing yet. This can also look like commitment with somebody you're with romantically, coming through the sky around the 10th or the 11th, but connecting to where you and your partner wish to live. And this energy of Saturn and Juno talking to each other until May 2nd, from the fourth house to the sixth house, continues that theme throughout that entire time, but just not as exact, because Juno's starting to move away from Saturn, who's moving very slowly. In fact, Saturn only makes it to the 7th degree. So his impact on some of you Sag risings is most powerful for Sag rising in the first 10 degrees of Sagittarius, or Sag sun and moons in the first 10 degrees. But all Sages feel this transit. And over the years, everyone will get more precision around it. So Mercury and Jupiter come together. Good news transit, good luck transit, good prosperity transit, March the 28th. They're coming together to join hands in Aries. Now, this is an important transit because Jupiter can only make it happen about once or twice every 12 years, right? And so this may have happened as well. Well, it did happen a year ago, but this is the last one for 12 years. So Mercury, is catching Jupiter's 12-month transit twice, and then it doesn't happen in Aries for 12 more years. So March the 28th is important, right? It's worth noting, and it's your money luck house. And if I had any sign who should buy a lottery ticket, Jupiter is the god of luck in the money luck house. I started by telling you can fulfill this year, and then Mercury, the messenger, who's also in charge of games of chance and all of that stuff, comes into contact with Jupiter. So we can just say at the very best, good news around money luck, possibly, or good news around fertility and pregnancy, or good news around your children and developments with them, good news around your independent business enterprise and prosperity and wealth, March the 28th. And give or take a couple of days on either side. Venus and Uranus together are unexpected, surprising, exhilarating change or developments that sort of come out of the blue to do with your money and love stories. And this is really importantly happening at the end of March, around the 30th and 31st, but it'll be building in the few days before that. Venus and Uranus are connected because he's in her house. So she's paying attention to what he's doing in Taurus. And this combination of the two of them coming together, she has the upper hand. She'll be in Taurus, her own home, and it is about pets. So, oh my God, somebody comes home with a new pet. Oh my God, you suddenly go to the pet shop and buy a new pet. Oh my God, your own pet has a baby or babies, a litter pops out, or you find out your pet's pregnant. Venus conjunct Uranus here could be a sudden surprise regarding an ability to pay off a debt. Someone who owed you a debt returns with the money in hand or the favor returned. Somebody you could be finding the perfect place to lease out of the blue around March 30th, 31st, the perfect renter for your property or the perfect property for you to rent, possibly. This could also involve purchases and sale of real estate because it sextiles the fourth house. And it also could open up a corridor of investment monies in the eighth, like a stock takes off all of a sudden, allows you to pay off your debt and buy a house, making stuff up. But this is a nice little touch around the 30th and 31st of March. And if you're dating somebody, if you're in the dating scene, wow, this is nice. This could be like an exhilarating, off the charts kind of first date or second date on March 30th or 31st, full of excitement and love at first sight sometimes. Uranus and Venus are like, immediate attraction, like instant flare, a flashlight of like a lightning bolt. Reminds me of that song, Thunder, Lightning, the way you love me is frightening, da 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 da. It's a disco song. Who sings that? Donna Summers? No. But you could feel that if you're dating anybody, and you in this window of time closer to the end of March for dating, not for old relationships that exist already. And Mars, finally, let's finish up here. I hope I didn't rush you guys, but I'm losing my voice. Most people got 30 minutes on this March series because it's so important. Mars is trining Saturn. And Mars will do that from a new sign that you haven't seen happen, like this combination, for 30 years. This is Mars in Cancer flowing to Saturn in Pisces, water to water. Now, first of all, anytime Mars and Saturn trine, it's hard work, focus, perseverance in a kind of like gangbuster, determined but easeful way in which everything is happening, everything's getting done, everything feels like just do it, but yeah, it's no problem. And it just flows. So flowing action, easy and opportune decisions, a sense of momentum. Now, Mars is momentizing things in Cancer, and Cancer is your money of inheritance, chunky money that belongs to the banks, money that you get through investments in the stock market. He's not in good shape here. He's fallen. You have to be careful. He's got a lot of vim and vigor. This is the same place where he could end up having you dispense and part ways with spousal assets that I mentioned earlier. He's going to be here March 31st, kind of exact, but the last whole week of March and the early first week of April, you're feeling this intensity, but it's positive though. It's positive for the most part. He's looking over his shoulder at Saturn. Saturn's in the fourth house. If anything, it's like, let's divide this real estate quickly, effectively, and try to be fair. Let's, if you're going to battle for property, real estate, assets, legacy wealth, and family wealth, then with Mars out of dignity and fallen, you must be careful that, you're making sure you know exactly what you're getting into, that you have really good counsel or you have really good guidance or advice in this area, because Mars is trying to play to win, but there's a lot of emotion going on in Cancer anyway, and he's emotional. He doesn't make necessarily the right decisions. So be careful. The decision-making apparatus around jointly held funds with anyone, business partner, spouse, or investment monies is made in a sound, clear, calm manner, because Mars rules decisions. And last thing I'd say about Mars moving through the eighth house, if you're an occult mystery type, you want to learn tarot, astrology, sacred stuff, alchemy, it's a really good transit for you. Really good. It kind of suggests that you can learn these things with a great deal of momentum and discipline at this time. Okay. Watch for the Mars fallen. Make sure you find the right astrology teacher, the right tarot teacher, not some kind of person who pretends they know what they're talking about. Mars is fallen. You know, somebody who's got a lot of bluster, but then turns out to be full of hot air, or in this case, hot water. Hot Mars moving through watery Cancer. All right. Excuse me. I am losing my voice. Last time I said that in a video, I came down with COVID 2 days later. So I'm going to go hit a bunch of vitamin C and go to bed. All right. Thanks, guys, for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Follow me on YouTube. If you don't like, you can always unlike. Don't feel like subscribing is a life sentence. All right. Have a great day. Ciao, ciao. Have a great March. Ciao, ciao, Sages. Now I have to stop my video. That would be fun if I could actually do that right now without like losing my mind. There we go.